I'm not defensive about it.
Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another live stream and your daily Chelsea news update. International break is done, people. Football is back and Chelsea face a trip to the South Coast on Saturday evening with Anthony Taylor in charge. 8 p.m. kickoff away at Bournemouth. What could possibly go wrong? We're going to have an early look ahead to that game, a general discussion, all things Chelsea. And there's a few little bits of news to go through as well. That bombshell from Wesley Fofana last night, how he received an approach from Marseille this summer, and he did give it consideration. No big deal in my view. We're going to dive into his comments. Some people's heads are falling off at him. For me, it's not a big one. I'm going to dive into it, explain why. We also thought David Fofana was going to join AEK Athens on loan with a £20 million option to buy. Suddenly, deal collapsed, went down, off. Apparently, the Greek club changed their demands, although I'm not really sure what demands they were changing. I highly doubt a Greek club would try and mug us off, but here we are, another seemingly failed outgoing this summer. I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on that. Obviously, the Turkish window is still open until tomorrow night, so there's a chance that maybe we could find David Fofana a home in Turkey, but I don't know how likely that is potentially looking. Plus, whatever questions you lot have got in the chat as well, we're just going to have a general discussion, all things Chelsea. So big up to everyone that's already locked in, guys. Smash the likes. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are new round here as well. All of that good stuff. Let's say hello to a few people, and then we will get this show on the road. I'll not be blaming Maresca if things go wrong. Yep, absolutely. No, I don't think the players will be affected. No, I don't think so. We need to win our next 6 games before the next. Well, I mean, it'd be nice to. We're not going to win our next 6 games, but it would be nice to do so. We've got some tough ones coming up. Bournemouth and West Ham away back to back after the break is no easy task. 2 grounds that we don't have a particularly good record at. 8 o'clock, Anthony Taylor, not going to be easy. Yep, it's not going to be easy. Yes, big up, brother, big up. Yeah, I don't know how it's happened. There's so many referees. Some teams go through a whole season without having a referee. But we've suddenly got Anthony Taylor twice in the first 4 games. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. If it was Premier League, it is. I would agree. I would never wear another Premier League team jersey. But whether it's Al Nassr for the GOAT, or whether whatever it is, whether it's Inter Miami, whether it's I don't know, whatever, as long as it's not another Premier League team, no issue on my end. I'll definitely never be repping another Premier League side. That's absolutely clear. But let's dive into it then. Obviously, we had that surprise news last night, which I don't think anyone was expecting. Wesley Fofana revealing that he had an offer from Marseille this summer. In an interview with Freefoot, he said, I had a call that really touched me. I'd be lying if I said I hadn't considered it. It was Mehdi Benatia from Olympique Marseille, the sporting director. It certainly touched me. I think everyone knows why, and I had a thought. But at the moment, my objective is to succeed at Chelsea, to try and win games, to establish myself at the club. After that, Marseille, we'll see one day. I still have a contract until 29. We'll see after that. I've never hidden anything. It's my city. It's my club. I'm a Marseille supporter. If it turns out to be the case, in a few years, I'll be at Marseille. And if it turns out to be the case, I could spend my entire career at Chelsea. So we'll see. Now, I don't really see a huge issue with these comments. Personally, I don't see a huge issue with them at all. It's nothing at all like the Lukaku situation whatsoever. I don't know why people have got a problem with this. I think people are just trying to find a problem with it. Players have got boyhood clubs. They're not all going to be Chelsea. I think he's very respectful to the club, and he said here that he'd be very happy to spend the rest of his career at the football club. So I don't see the issue of this. I really don't see it as an issue at all. He's committed to the club. I think he really enjoys being here. He wants to succeed here. He said that he wants to establish himself at the club. And then after that, he'll see what happens. Maybe one day he might go back to Marseille. But then equally, on the other hand, he said he'd be happy to stay his entire career at Chelsea. I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think it's a big deal that that these comments have been said. I really don't. I'm not seeing it. I'm really not seeing it. But yeah, look, some people losing their heads at it. Some people, obviously looking to make a problem out of this because maybe it's international break, maybe it's because they're bored or whatever. But yeah, there's no issue on my end at all with these comments whatsoever. There doesn't need to be. There doesn't need to be an issue from anyone. Like, he's happy to spend his career here. Yes, he's a boyhood Marseille fan. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. I think I remember Drogba back in the day, saying on numerous occasions to various French outlets how he'd maybe go back there one day. I don't see it as disrespectful. I don't see it as a big deal. I don't think it's stupid either. It's his boyhood club. He's been honest about a situation. He thought about it as you would if it's your boyhood club. And he also says that he's fully committed to Chelsea. So I don't have an issue with it. He's definitely, in my opinion, fully fit and playing his best. He's Chelsea's best centre-back at the club right now. Some people might think, that's not saying much. The defenders here aren't great. I appreciate potentially where some people might be coming from with that. But when he's fit and playing his best, he, for me, is comfortably Chelsea's best centre-back, in my view. So the fact that he said this, I don't have an issue with it. At the end of the day, he wants to return home one day. Wow, big deal. Big deal. Current objective is to succeed at Chelsea. And he also said he could spend his entire career there. So what we basically got here is, player says one day he wants to return home, but his current objective is to succeed at current club and could spend his entire career at current club. Wow. What a big revelation this is. What a big revelation this is. I'm sure there's many players out there that say, that they've got boyhood clubs but won't sort of speak about going back there. I can't get my head around it. Cannot get my head around it. Doesn't really make sense, but there we are. And look, at the end of the day, I think he's performed reasonably well in these first 3 games. And I'll tell you what, guys, if a player pretends they only want Chelsea, it's so obvious they're lying. All players have got other teams that they would like to play for. But I don't think he's going to be gone anytime soon. People might get 2 and 2 together and think, if he doesn't have if he has another season where maybe he's not fit or he's not, performing to a certain level, then you might understand that potentially. I get it, but I don't see him going anywhere anytime soon. I don't think these comments should really affect anything whatsoever. He's born in Marseille, for fuck's sake. It's his hometown. All he said was that he had an offer to go there. He thought about it. It was perhaps hard for him to turn it down. He did. He's committed to Chelsea. Nothing to cry about. Simple as that. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it. As long as he keeps performing well on the football pitch for us, that ultimately is the most important thing. And look, if he ends up going back to Marseille one day, he ends up going back there. It is what it is. For me, it's not a big deal. It's nothing like the Lukaku thing. Yeah, obviously, it's not ideal when you hear a player say that they thought about leaving the club this summer. I guess like when you just hear that, you start to sort of think, oh, fuck, are these guys kind of fully committed to what's going on here? I don't know. But yeah, no, I certainly don't have an issue with it, guys. I certainly don't have an issue with it. But what are you lot saying? What are you lot saying in the chat about it? Anyone got any different opinions to me? Bro, we were never going to sign Bastoni. I think we did have a kind of a look at Calafiori, but we never seriously pursued that. And no offer ever went in, despite us being named as a team that was interested in him. We ended up going with Renato Vega instead. Look, I agree that maybe Disasi probably could have gone this summer, but I suspect that he'll be gone next summer. I don't think he'll be here next summer. Fofana's got massive potential, but I'm still waiting to see if he gets injured again. Yeah, look, he's 23 years of age. I think he's a really top prospect. He's been unlucky with injuries, a broken leg and an ACL, both injuries that are not his fault at all. And this is where we are with him. I just hope that he stays fit. I hope that we manage his minutes. He's not been named in a Conference League squad, so that's a plus there. We don't need him to be playing those extra games when he's on a long way back from a long-term injury. But yeah, didn't extend Silva's contract to him at 40 is still. But I mean, look, you could argue that Silva probably is still Chelsea's best centre back. I don't think that's a controversial thing to say at all. I really don't. Maresca shouldn't be sacked. We can't chop. Well, no one's talking about Maresca being sacked, by the way. At the end of the day, he chose to stay. Offers for players are always going to come up. Yeah, I guarantee, right? Loads of offers have come in for players that we literally have no idea about, and they may well have considered them. If he hadn't publicised it, no one would be speaking about this, obviously, and everyone would be none the wiser on the situation. It's only because he's publicly stated that there was an offer on the table. What else is coming in here? Hardly surprising players think about leaving. I'm sure players have thought about leaving. Non-issue, but pretty stupid still, considering all the other craps around us. I mean, I wouldn't say it. I mean, look, we don't know. I don't know when this interview was done. Obviously, the quotes and that come out yesterday. I don't actually know when this was done. It obviously done maybe fairly recently, or certainly at some point over the summer. 70 mil went down the drain by signing Fofana. We could have signed another top class. It depends how you look at it. I think Fofana, if he reaches his potential, will be a top class centre back for sure. I would not play Fofana in the early rounds of effort. No, probably not. Is Silva better than Terry? No, not for me. But it's not far. I don't think there's an awful lot in it. But for me, I'd always head just towards JT. Yeah, Fluminense have definitely had a transformation since Silva's come in. They're obviously a lot better defensively. They're a lot better just as a team in general, and their form has definitely taken a turn for the better since he came in. Guys, by the way, there's 60 people locked in, only 17 likes. People, this is piss poor. Run it up. Come on, guys. We need to get this to at least 50 likes minimum. At least 50 likes minimum. Because that's what needs to happen, people. There's still 60 in here and there's 18 likes. Not everyone's smashing that like button. So let's get to work, guys. Run it up. It's light work, people. Why publicise it though? Some may say he could be calculating a move to perhaps show that this player. Look, I'm sure that at some point all players are willing to move, but I don't think Fofana at 23, 24 years of age is going to be considering swapping Chelsea for Marseille at that stage of his career. I think he probably knows that that Marseille move is likely always going to be there. The opportunity to return home is likely always going to be there. So there's definitely no rush to make it. Marseille doing something exciting potentially under Roberto De Zerbi with all the signings, etc. they're making. So yeah, sure, maybe he is keeping half an eye on it. Maybe he is. But right now, there's definitely no way that Marseille over the next couple of years could afford to sign Wesley Fofana unless he sort of actively made it clear that he was looking for a way out, which I don't believe is the case. Silva and Terry are there, the footballing gods. Agree. Maybe we can sell Chalobah to Palace in the next summer. Look, to be honest, if Chalobah does well, he's not there to Crystal Palace next summer. He'll go to a much higher level than that. Yeah, he did. To think JT and Silva could have been a likely pairing as well, the age gap between the two. No, it's not that big, but unfortunately, yeah, it's just not the way. It's just not the way that it worked out for us, guys. It's just not the way that it worked out for us. Would Fofana go back? Yeah, quite possibly, like a lot of players do. Yeah, look, I think Chalobah probably is as good as Guehi. I don't think that's a ridiculous thing to say. I still do find it mad that Chalobah's never been called up to the England squad. I do find that a mad one. I do find it a mad one. But this is kind of, I think it's a bit strange that he's never been called up to one squad. Obviously he's too old for the 21s and whatnot, but it's certainly an interesting one. But guys, I don't think there's anything to be concerned about in regards to these comments. Fofana's fully committed. It's quite obvious that he's fully committed to the football club. He said so in those comments. And so, look, with everything else going on, you sort of feel, never a quiet day at Chelsea. You've got the ownership stuff that's rumbling on, nothing really new on that one. And then suddenly out of nowhere, one of your top players goes, I thought about leaving this summer. I get it when you look at it from that point of view. You're like, that's perhaps that's not optimal, but that's where we are with that situation right now. Chalobah has very good visions. Most centre backs don't have. Agree. I wish we'd give Trev a chance in the system. I do as well. If Trev wasn't from the academy, he'd be playing for Chelsea Football Club right now. I genuinely believe it's that simple, that he'd be playing for Chelsea if he wasn't from the academy. He'd be playing for the club right now. Moving on to another couple of bits of transfer news. There's been a little update from Fabrizio Romano on Carney Chukwuemeka. There were some links the other day with Carney with Galatasaray. Now I don't see that happening at all in terms of it's Thursday afternoon now. There's no chance is that going through in the next sort of 24, 30 hours. And Romano saying on this one that despite links, I'm not aware of concrete talks with Galatasaray over Carney Chukwuemeka so far. Chelsea always considered Carney only available on a permanent deal, not loan. So the only way would be to change Chelsea management's mind, but this hasn't happened so far. Obviously, we know that Chukwuemeka's got that £40 million release clause that was revealed earlier this summer. He's not kicked a ball for us since the second game of pre-season against Celtic. He has been named in a Conference League squad. He's still training with the first team squad as well. So it's not like he's been bumped down to the bomb squad and is training away from the first team. But obviously Chelsea don't see value in loaning him out, and they'll only be thinking of selling him. Now, they probably would make a profit on the £20 million that he cost from Villa a couple of seasons ago. But the reality is that Carney's made 27 appearances for us in the 2 seasons he's been here because he's constantly been injured. So, it's all very good saying he's got this potential and he's got this ability, which he does. And I want to see him play more often. I want to see him given an opportunity. But the reality is that if you're not fit, it doesn't matter how good you are, you're going to be useless on the football pitch at the end of the day. And that's kind of the situation we are finding ourselves in with Chukwuemeka, is that despite his talent and despite his abilities, he's not available. He's not available enough. That's the real problem. Look, I think hopefully he's going to play in these Conference League games. I hope he does. We've seen that Lavia has been left out of the Conference League squad. We know that. Enzo Caicedo, I can't imagine they're going to be playing, against the likes of Noah and Astana and Panathinaikos and, Shamrock Rovers and all that. If Carney can't play in those games, then there's a major problem. There's a major problem if he can't play in those games. I mean, I would have said a loan would have made sense, but clearly Chelsea don't believe that's the case. They don't believe that a loan would be beneficial. I'm not really sure why that would be. I agree. I think most people would agree that the ideal scenario for Chukwuemeka would be to go on loan. Absolutely, ideal scenario. Send him on loan. He was 20 mil. I think, to be honest, you would make a profit on him. You'd get more than 20 million for him now. Nah, bro, they won't be. You won't develop a player playing him. I absolutely agree on that. And I think, this is what's happening now with this recruitment policy, is that yeah, it's all very well stockpiling these players and say you're going to sell them on for a profit. The reality is that a lot of them aren't playing. You're not going to make money on these guys when they're not playing. And it's almost like this ownership haven't thought that through, that if these guys aren't playing, their value is just going to go through the floor and we're not going to be able to flip them for a profit. So it's an odd one, isn't it? It really is an odd one as to why, you know, the ownership seemingly thought that they wouldn't have any issues just flipping these guys on. You know, I don't get it. I personally don't understand it. But what do I know, eh? What do I know? What do I know, guys? Obviously, in their infinite wisdom, they think differently. But yeah, surely that's just such an obvious thing. You're buying all these players, you haven't got anywhere to send them. You've got players like David Washington that you spent about 12, 13 million quid on, who's playing under 21s football. You spent 19 million on Kellyman, who's not even in the first team squad. The likes of Datro Fofana has been signed. He's done absolutely nothing wrong, and yet he's not even training with the first team squad. There's no way that Guiu's better than him right now. And, you know, he's been banished to the bomb squad, and they're going to try and fob him off to fucking AEK Athens or try and find some shit place in Turkey for him. It's a madness. This is people's careers they're playing with here, and it's almost like they just don't give a fuck. You know, I'm honestly still surprised that so many young players are signing for Chelsea, despite seeing what's happening. You know, you can come to Chelsea, you can sign a 7-year contract. Within 1 year, you can be fucked off to the bomb squad and gone. I still don't get it why so many players are choosing to sign for the football club. Like particularly the real young ones, you know, like your Angelos, like your David Washingtons, like your Datro Fofanas, for example. You know that you're not going to be given an opportunity, and you're literally there as a money-making device. That's what you're there for. That is what you're there for, and it doesn't make sense. I don't know why Anthony Taylor's the ref. So I've got no clue what they're doing with the recruitment strategy. It's already failing miserably. If we get through to the next round, we could rotate. Yeah, we're going to rotate anyway. We've got virtually, I think we'll play different 11s pretty much from on Thursday to Sunday. So there's going to be no issues there. Maresca facing his toughest test coming up. All the noise around the club, few bad results. Yeah, absolutely. And you know, with all the noise going on with the ownership and whatnot, you know, some bad results on the pitch are just going to intensify everything even more than it already is. It's already going to be a massive distraction. No one's going to ask you about the Bournemouth game. All the questions are going to be about the ownership situations, or how's that affecting you? How's that affecting your preparation? Have you spoken to the owners? I can already know what the bullshit questions are going to be in the press conference. They shouldn't even be taking those questions. It's nothing to do with them. They shouldn't even be allowed to ask those questions in the press conference if it was down to me. The loan restrictions screwed us over. Don't see why they put that rule out. Well, international loans, I don't know. I guess it's to stop people just sending, you know, loads and loads of players out on loan, I suppose. I don't really know why it's in there. There must be a reason for it. But yeah, look, I absolutely agree with the fact that even if Chukwuemeka does play in the Conference League and he does play in the early rounds of the Carabao Cup, what's that doing for him, really? What is that really doing for him? It's not doing anything for his career. It's not really doing anything for his development because, you know, with the greatest respect to some of these teams we're going to play in the Conference League, you know, there's probably a higher level in Chelsea training than there will be on the pitch in some of these games. That's just the reality of the situation with that one. But I do find it strange. I do find it really strange as to why you know, Chukwuemeka was just happy to train with the first team. He's barely going to play in the Premier League. I mean, fucking Cassidy was when fucking Cassidy was on the bench against Crystal Palace instead of him. What's going on? What's going on with Carney? Just Maresca just think he's shit? Does Maresca not fancy him? I agree. If I was Chukwuemeka, I would have been weighing my options up. You know, yeah, you're probably on around $100,000 a week or something at Chelsea. and you might not get that money on a contract somewhere else. But it's still a mad one, isn't it? That why he would be happy to sit there knowing he's not going to play, because we all know he's not playing. We all know the only opportunity he's going to get is minutes in the Conference League, and he's probably only in the Conference League to fill Conference League squad to kind of fill some sort of quota. That's the reality, guys. I mean, there's no guarantees he's definitely going to play in that either. Would I start Reece James in the Conference League? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. But only better go to those investors in ASAP and get Egbali and the Chuckle Brothers out. Another 2 seasons on this path. Yeah, look, I agree. I mean, look, whatever's going to happen with whatever will be with that one. It's difficult though, isn't it? It is difficult. We just need that resolved. It's a bit of a distraction. I think everything's out there now. So unless there's any developments, I don't think there's really going to be too much more reporting on it, because everything that needs to come out has come out. And the only updates we'll get now, I presume, is anything major, which is not looking that likely. Maresca wants Casadei to speak Italian. I don't know. Yeah, apparently Jorgensen got injured for the Denmark under-21s, but there's not really any information on the extent of it and what it is. I presume it's not really that bad. Maybe it was just a bit of a knock and he had to go off and couldn't continue. I don't think it's anything major. There's been no news on it, no further news on it. He was crap in pre-season, let's be honest. Well, he's only given, 1.5? He only played 1.5 games. Fab on Gyökeres. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Where's this tweets on Gyökeres? I'm not seeing anything. On Gyökeres. Right, we're going to move away from Chukwuemeka, and we're going to have a quick. He is a good talent, but ultimately he's not been fit, and there's many players ahead of him. Like, let's be realistic here, right? As much as I like Kane and I want him to play, who's he playing ahead of? Can someone in the chat tell me where Carney's getting minutes in this team, on a regular basis? And I don't mean the Conference League. Like, I agree that he perhaps should be making match day squads, but is he? Where's he playing? Because he's not playing ahead of Enzo, Caicedo, or Lavia. He's not playing ahead of Palmer. He's not playing ahead of Nkunku, Felix, and these guys. The only position you might say is he might be competing with Dewsbury Hall, but Dewsbury Hall's just come in for £30 million, and he's not going to play ahead of him. But even then, Dewsbury Hall is not featuring that regularly in the Premier League either. So Carney doesn't really have a spot in the team. There's no obvious place for him. All of those players were crap in pre-season, aren't playing. You can see it. Yeah, maybe he thought they were crap, or maybe the ones that he thinks just doesn't suit the way he's looking to play are the ones that aren't playing. No, Jorgensen's Danish. Jorgensen is a Danish under-21 international. Yeah, he does. And maybe Chukwuemeka accepts he's a squad player as well, except he's not. The last time Kane performed good, he was playing out wide at that good goal from left wing. Yeah, against West Ham, it was. That was the second game of last season. And we thought it was all going to be good. He started the season when he had a good pre-season. He was in the team, and then it all went to shit. But it is what it is, people. Let's have a quick look at this. Let's have a quick look at this Gyökeres thing. I mean, I don't think it's really concerns Chelsea, but let's have a look. Sporting president Varandas on Victor Gyökeres. To be honest, I've seen inferior players being transferred above 100 million euros, big players below 100 million euros. Victor is happy here. During the market, there was not a day without news saying that Victor was leaving. So there's no news there at all. I believe he's got 100 million euros release clause in his contract. I'm very surprised that, at least publicly, no one went in for him. No one made an offer. Maybe people were perhaps thinking it's too expensive. Maybe people were thinking, fuck, it's a lot of money to spend on someone who is to spend on someone based off one season. He's already 15 GNA and 7 games for club and country this season already. The guy's running riot. Legit, he's one of the best strikers in the world right now. I know there's not that many to choose from, but he is legit one of the best out and out number 9s in world football right now. And I know there's a dying brand, there's a dying breed of them, but he's top draw. He is top draw. I think he might be it. He's legit, people. He is legit. There's no escaping that. He absolutely is legit. I don't really know. I don't know why that was told to be brought up. Hope Chelsea makes a statement before press conference. No questions on both. They won't do that. But yeah, it's just every question is going to be that. It's going to be so boring. 50 to 60 million, maybe, but not more. But isn't Osimhen is 75 million euros release clause now? To be honest, I would rather have Gyökeres than Osimhen. Gyökeres, I think, is 24, 25. But yeah, I think this geezer's the real deal. I think he is legit. He keeps proving people wrong. He keeps banging the goals and he keeps putting the numbers up. And look, the success rate from the Portuguese league to the Premier League is big. It's just frustrating because you could have signed him from Coventry for about 20 million quid a couple summers ago. But that wasn't to be. That wasn't to be. It wasn't to be. I mean, we went down a different route, and now he's going to cost a lot more money. A lot more money. So we'll see. We will see. But I would be more than happy to have Victor Gyökeres. More than happy, guys. He's 26, is he? He's a little bit. I mean, look, he was banging goals in the Championship. He went to Sporting, banged a load of goals, and now he's banging more goals. I mean, Sweden's mad. Sweden have got Isak and Gyökeres as their strikers. I mean, yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Bro, I'll be honest, I'm not sold on Osimhen. I just think all the hassle he brings, the money and whatnot, I'm just not sure if it's well and truly worth it. Gyökeres would be, yes, the 100 million release clause means he's about 10 or 20 million pounds potentially more expensive in terms of a transfer fee, but in terms of wages and whatnot, he's going to be significantly cheaper than anything Osimhen would be. But it's something to look out for over the next couple of windows. I think we know that this season could potentially be Gyökeres' last season at Sporting Lisbon, and we wait and see what happens on that front. Isak's very good as well, very good. Feel like Osimhen's another Lukaku. Maybe not in terms of ability, but in terms of kind of baggage and noise surrounding him. I kind of was getting that vibe. I was kind of getting that vibe in the summer. No, I agree. Unless we're getting a top-class centre forward, which in January is very, very difficult to do, I don't, or unless we get any sort of major injury issues, then there is no reason as to why we should be looking to bring anyone in. While Klinek is here, we won't sign top-tier players anymore, especially if they're over 25. I hear you on that. I mean, it is true. It is true. There are issues here. There are certainly issues here. But we're just gonna have to wait and see how it pans out. We're just gonna have to wait and see how it pans out on that one. We're going to see, guys. We are going to see what happens with the striker issue. But yeah, it is a problem, isn't it? It is a problem. I don't know. I don't know what their best situation is. for the striker scenario, but that's something to worry about for another day. There's 100 million euros, which is about 85 million pounds. Newcastle want ridiculous money for Isak. Ridiculous money for Isak. Guys, there's 82 of you in the building. Big up to everyone that's locked in. I know there's not an awful lot of Chelsea news. Numbers are a little bit lower than what they would normally be. But big up to everyone that is still locked in. People, please make sure you smash that like button. It's free. It takes seconds to do. And we're only on 38 likes, which is not the one. So run these likes up. This needs to be well on its way to 100 likes. There's more than enough people in here. So please, people, please smash the like button. It's free, and it really helps me out. It boosts the content in the algorithm. The more liked something is, the more it gets boosted, and the more eyes that get on the channel. So yeah, please do run it up in that regard. I would greatly appreciate it. Let's get this over 50. Come on, guys. Light work, light work. And if you're new around here as well, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are heading towards 12,000 subscribers. We're getting closer. We're getting closer. We're still about 260 odd away. So every new subscriber helps. So guys, if you're new around here, make sure you are hitting that subscribe button as well. But yeah, keep smashing the likes. Let me know when we're on 100, guys. Expect that to be soon. What about Sesko? Yeah, again, I think that's someone I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea potentially agreed a deal with Sesko in January for him to come in the summer. I wouldn't rule that out either. There's a number of questions that do need to be asked about the striker situation at Chelsea. A number of questions for sure. But ones that we'll get answers to over the next few months, I'd imagine. Bournemouth away, Bournemouth, West Ham away, very tricky. Yeah, they are. Said at the top of the show, 2 tough away games, 2 grounds that we don't have a very good record at. You know, we really don't. I think we win on Saturday 2-0. Clean sheet, very presumptuous on that one. I mean, they are quite similar. I would agree. I mean, the only thing that would be appealing on Sesko is the fact that he's a better goal scorer, and obviously there's a release clause in there as well. He's not going to cost an awful lot of money. Another draw, yeah. That would be my, if I had to have a bet. If I was going to bet on a result, then yeah, the draw is what I would be going for. The draw is what I would be going for if I had to have a bet on a result. What do people actually see in Sesko? Sesko's good. He's a better goal scorer than Jackson. Without doubt, he's a better goal scorer. Sesko is a very, very good footballer. He's more experienced. He's more accomplished. Look, there's aspects of his game that he's much better than Jackson at, and there's other aspects of his game that Jackson's better than him at. Maresca should just call back to, yeah, maybe. Why is on a striker when we have Guy who hasn't had a clean shot on goal? Look, Guy was always going to be one of those flip for a profit guys. 6 million euro release clause. You're guaranteed to double your money at least on him. And that's the reality right now. He should have gone on loan, in my opinion. You know, he's not going to get enough minutes. He's literally going to be a Conference League player, which is a bit disrespectful, really. It is a bit disrespectful, isn't it? But he's basically going to be a Conference League player, guys. We can't keep making another slow start. Yeah, we don't want to make another slow start. No, Bournemouth don't have Solanke now, so maybe a better chance. Sure, but they've replaced him with someone called Evanilson from Porto, a Brazilian striker. I don't know loads about him. I mean, we didn't miss it. We were there. We were there, and there was strong interest from us. But he decided to stay at RB Leipzig for another year. So yeah, Arsenal were there. We were there. Other teams were there. But he decided to stay put, which probably another season in Leipzig was probably the right choice. Was the right choice. Look, Jackson. I've said it. Jackson's a 20 goals a season Premier League striker. He just needs to improve his finishing. The amount of chances we get, he's a 20 goals a season striker. But you know that until he starts improving his finishing, it's obviously it's obviously not going to happen. The conversation will look. You can never have too many good strikers. Two top centre forward quality centre forward options is what you need. We've got one. We need another one. No one can sit here and say that we don't need another thing. And also, if we do get another one, who's a 20 goals a season striker, and Jackson's a 20 goals a season striker as well, then we can't complain about we can't complain at all about not having enough. You can't complain about having multiple great options in a centre forward position. You can't complain about that at all. No update on the Gusto injury. I don't think he's been pictured in any of the training photos this week. So we're on Thursday now. So unless he's, I don't know when the training photos come out, but unless he's pictured in them today, I think we can forget it. I think we can forget him featuring. If we want to win the conference league, we better not start Guy. Well, we'll start him in the league phase. I think Nkunku's better than Jackson in the striker position. Nkunku's not better than Jackson in the striker position. He's not. He's a better finisher for sure. But Nkunku's not a guy that runs channels. He's not a penalty box striker. He's best as a number 10 or someone that plays just off the striker. So yeah, I don't want to see Nkunku playing as a forward. No, Enzo and Caicedo will both play on Saturday because there's going to be no Lavia. I don't think we need to use Nkunku in the striker role to get everyone minutes. Well, we're not a charity here. Team needs to heads down and work hard. Yeah, we just got to keep working hard. We just got to keep working hard. No, that is the one thing that we should not do in a million years. Absolutely no chance should we be doing that. Well, it looks like it could be. It looks like it will be what? Disassi or Caicedo, won't it? It'll be Disassi or Caicedo if Gusto and James aren't available, which it looks like that's going to be. It'll be Gusto or Disassi or Caicedo, or does he take does he do a big roll of the dice and put in does he do a big roll of the dice and put Josh Akimpong in, for example? I don't know, but you could have a Caicedo inverted fullback. I mean, could you maybe? It's a possibility. Could you switch Cucurella to right back and play Renato Vega at left back? That could be another option as well. There are options here, guys. There are options, but yeah, being without your two first choice right backs is a problem. And what's also a problem as well, by the way, is that on Lavia we were told, it's a minor issue, which is why he was left out of the Wolves game, right? So the issue was so minor that he subsequently missed the Palace game, and he's not returned to training since that first leg against Servette. So, is Chelsea's definition of minor different to mine? Is minor for us 3 months instead of 6 months on the sidelines? I don't fucking know. Reece James, minor issue. Suddenly he's not even in full training, and the Bournemouth game is in 2 days. So what the fuck's going on here? Are we just being mugged off and lied to here in terms of what's actually going on with these injuries? There's no clarity whatsoever. 2 injuries described as minor, multiple games missed, not even back in training. I just can't get my head around it. I just don't understand it. Look, Lavia, who's been brilliant in pre-season, was brilliant against City. He come on at the end of that Servette game first leg, played 10 minutes or something, and then something's obviously happened, and he missed that Wolves game, and we've not seen him since. Hasn't even been back in proper training. So what the fuck's going on here? What the fuck is going on here? Because right now I'm just sick of this whole situation. Absolutely sick of it as to why we're just made to look like fucking idiots when injuries are being spoken about. Don't report something as minor when you know full well it's not minor. It's not minor. I remember I said I was going to, at the time when the Reece James news came out, I wasn't that fussed because it wasn't available for the first 3 games anyway. And I was going to then have a bit more of an assessment on the situation if he was to be unavailable for this Bournemouth game. It looks like he's not going to play in this Bournemouth game, certainly from the off. I don't even know if he's going to make the bench or not. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, it's scandalous, really, in my opinion. Like, what's going on here? What is going on right now with all these players, with these injuries that we're just not really being updated on, that we're seemingly being lied to about? I mean, I don't want to accuse the club of lying, but it certainly comes across like that. If something's minor, you're missing 1, maybe 2 games tops, but you're back into training pretty quickly. That simply hasn't happened. Simply hasn't happened. I don't know what it is. I wouldn't solely be blaming a medical department. These departments have been revamped, restructured multiple times since the new ownership have been here, and the same problems persist. No, bro, he's not going to be on that. I'd be shocked. Disasi or Caicedo, or that again, maybe you switch Cucurella to right back and play Vega left back. As I said, I'm not sure. We'll have to see. No, he wasn't that great at right back in pre-season, and of course, it would be a huge gamble. It would be a huge gamble to stick him in there. I absolutely agree on that front. It would be a huge gamble to stick him in there, but I don't know. I'm really unsure. He will play Fofana there and invert Cucurella. He's not going to play Fofana at right back. Fofana's not going to play right back. They'll both be in the middle, him and Colwell. As much as I like Lavia, can't afford to miss too many games. No, he can't afford to miss too many games, and this is the problem. And this is what goes for everyone. Is that I don't care. It doesn't matter how good you are. If you're not available, then you're totally useless to the team. And this is what we're finding with James. This is what we're finding with Lavia. I'm not going to be going in too harsh because it's the start of the season. But if these men miss 10, 15 games again this season, then that for me is that's major issues, and something that would have to be strongly considered moving forward. Club is showing that they've resorted. I mean, look, I don't know what's going on. I mean, they don't have to say anything about injuries, in fairness, but yeah, it's clear that when you say something's minor and a player's not back in training over 2-3 weeks later, then it's safe to say that you've either, unintentionally lied, or you've just barefaced lied and you just don't give a fuck. And that's where we're at. But that's what it feels like, don't it, guys? That's what it feels like. We've just sort of been straight up lied to in regards to Lavia, the extent of Lavia and Reece James's injury problems. So yeah, I don't get it. I really don't get it. It's one of the strange ones, isn't it? It's one of those strange ones as to why are we in this situation right now? That is what I would like to know. How are we finding ourselves in this situation? What's the plan? What is the plan here? What are we looking at? What are we going to be doing? That is what I would like to know, and I don't know if we're really going to find that out. I don't know if we're going to find it out, to be honest. Guys, we're still only on 56 likes. Run this up to 100, guys. Come on, we've got to get it down. We've got to run this up. 85 in the building, 56 likes. Let's get this to at least 80 likes. Come on, people. Keep smashing that like button. It's free. It really helps me out. It's so simple to do. It takes you seconds. So please do that. And keep hitting the subscribe button if you're new around here as well. That would be greatly appreciated, guys. It would be greatly appreciated. So please do keep smashing that like button. There's loads of you that haven't pressed it, so make sure you are hitting it. Sancho's not going to start. Why Cole Palmer did not get injured last season? He missed one game. Yeah, he didn't pick up any injuries. Gusto has been overplayed. Yeah, you could certainly make a case that Gusto has been overplayed. You could certainly make that point. I don't think that's a ridiculous thing to say at all. Absolutely, I feel like there's a possibility that he has been overplayed. Yeah, But you can't really stand those because of it. I'm absolutely not having a go at the owners for injury issues, but there's something fundamentally wrong that has been wrong for a number of years, and I just don't know what that is. No, we will. The defense is not great. I thought against Palace, we defensively were better. Structurally, shape-wise, and actually defended reasonably well. It's just for one moment we couldn't clear our lines and we didn't get out to close Eze down at the edge of the box. So, yeah, look, I think we were better, for sure. I think we were better, but yeah, it's obviously, it's not an ideal one. It's not ideal, is it? These injuries have been going on. Yeah, they've been going on absolutely years and years. And it's not just those two. It's loads of players getting injured. It's good to see. When I don't think we're doing the injury report anymore. I don't think that's coming out before games. I've not seen that come out. Maybe they scrapped that idea. Yes, I am. Came through today. Big up to Keith who sorted me out. Came through today. So yeah, I'll be at Bournemouth on Saturday evening. Looking forward to it. As always. One of the good away days. Always good fun down the South Coast. Maybe not at 8 p.m. on a Saturday of Anthony Taylor in charge, but that is where we are. So yes, I'll be down on the South Coast Saturday night. Looking forward to it. Maybe that's why Nkunku's not playing. I think Maresca. I don't know. I'm not sure Maresca is fully sold on Nkunku right now, or in terms of fully convinced. Not sure where he fits in. Again, he played a lot in pre-season. He could be just choosing to manage him a little bit, but right now, Nkunku's not really an out-and-out winger, and he's going with Jackson through the middle. So Nkunku might start this game, considering he's not been on international duty. So I think we might see a number of guys who weren't on international duty potentially starting. No, we're not rushing players back. We're not. Kante was even injury prone as soon as he was up. Well, towards the end, certainly not in the first few instances, but yeah, towards the end he was. I don't think there's any denying that. Towards the end, he absolutely was. But yeah, not any. Not any. Nothing major. Sort of, when we really needed him. We really need someone like Rodri, and I think that person. Yeah, look, you notice, right? And I know it's a small sample size, but as soon as Lavia wasn't there in the Wolves game and in the Palace game, look how easy our midfield was to play through. I'm not saying it was easy to play through the whole game, but look how easy it was to play through the midfield when Lavia wasn't there. That's a concern. That absolutely is a concern. And it's easy to say, we shouldn't have loaned out Ugachukwu, we should have kept him, and whatnot. But I think hindsight is a great thing. But the reality is that we probably shouldn't have loaned out both Ugachukwu and Andre Santos, knowing what Lavia's injury record is like. So yeah, I personally perhaps wouldn't have signed off on that, but then it's easy to say that looking back. It is easy to say that looking back, and perhaps it's a bit, it's hindsight's great and all that. Yeah, injuries absolutely are a part of football, but the extent to which we have them and the number and the volume of them and the seriousness of them, no one has it like us or has had it like us over the past few years. We've had the most injuries in the league, hands down, over the last 2 or 3 seasons. So yeah, no one has had it like us. We've got a squad. Hopefully now we've got a squad to deal with it. And hopefully, the options we've got attacking wise, we perhaps won't have too many issues. If we do happen to pick up some injuries, hopefully there won't be a plethora of issues. That means Sancho will I don't think Sancho will start. I don't think he will. I think some players who weren't on international duty could well be in line to start, but I'd be surprised if Sancho started. I would be surprised. I can see us calling back either Ugo Chukwu. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there was callback options in the loan deals, or maybe you can just call back anyway. That's just how it works. I'm not sure. And Nkunku's been clear as an attorney. He's a 4-4-2 striker. Midfield is too much for him. I don't know. There's nowhere to play him, but yeah, look, there's certainly a situation here where we might think, yeah, do you know what? Fuck, it is perhaps a little bit. There's not maybe an optimal position for him in the side. I think we could well agree on that. I don't think that's a ridiculous thing to say. That right now, maybe Maresca's finding it difficult to find that optimal place in the team for him. So, yeah, I'm sure that he's going to be very important to the team. He's going to contribute this season. So, yeah, that's where we are. Our midfield's basically non-existent. Well, look, it was an issue last season as well. It's obviously perhaps a manager issue. It's obviously maybe a system issue, and it's also clearly a player issue as well, because they are not able to do what's being asked of them. Clearly, that's what I'm ascertaining here, guys. We're only on 63 likes. Come on, people. We shouldn't have to keep asking like this. We're normally smashing these likes easy. I know there's not an awful lot going on, but there's no excuses for this not to be up on 100 likes. So please do keep smashing the like button, guys. It's free. It takes seconds to do. And I, of course, would greatly appreciate it. So come on, guys. Just do your thing, people. I'm seeing a world where Sancho is our starting winger this season. If he does well, sure. Absolutely. But the Man United Sancho shouldn't be a starting winger for Chelsea right now. He needs to rediscover that Dortmund form. Yeah, look, I think there's a serious conversation to be had about Mudryk next summer if he continues to sort of not deliver for the football club. I would agree. Got lots of games coming up and players will pick up injuries. Yeah, no, people will get minutes for sure. People will get minutes. There's no doubt about that. We're facing potentially the longest season in our history with the Club World Cup next summer as well. So yeah, look, we absolutely are in a situation where we could be in a situation where we could be in a situation where he maybe does get moved on. Hope Leslie dunks on Casemiro on Sunday. Yeah, it's not difficult. 3-month ban isn't a 3-month ban from football. What is it? He's been banned for a few games for comments that he made about Son, I think. Well, in the earlier in the summer. No one's getting away with anything. The FA could still intervene if they want to. But also, it's funny how there were several Man United players on that bus as well. Man United haven't said a single thing about it. Haven't condemned any of the players. None of the Man United players that are on that bus doing the same thing have done anything whatsoever. So yeah, let's not throw those stones in glass houses, whatever that saying is, because Enzo has done wrong. But as have many others on that bus, and those clubs and those players have stayed absolutely silent. I agree. I absolutely agree on that one. Nkunku does need to play with a striker. That's why I do want to see some of that Nkunku Jackson link up. That we saw in the preseason under Poch. So we'll have to wait and see. Sancho left wing. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Jackson will. I'm almost certain that Jackson's going to start. But let's wait and see on that front, people. Let's wait and see on that front if he does decide to start. Yep, Garnacho was on that bus. Man United done absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. But to be expected, people. To be expected. That's how these things work. That is unfortunately how these things work. What else is going on? Yeah, no, Nkunku's a top player. I'm a big fan of Nkunku. There's loads of quality there. It's just about finding that right position in the team for him and getting getting the balance right and whatnot. That's what we're needing to do there. We just need to get that balance right with him. But yeah, I'm sure that Nkunku will be a success for us, and I'm sure that he'll do really well. That's where we're at. That is where we're at on that one. Well, yeah, if he doesn't perform, then he won't be here next season, particularly with Pires and Esteval coming. So yeah, I fully agree. The guy just simply won't be here next season if he doesn't perform this year. I don't care who scores, just anyone. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's nailed his place down on this team. For me right now, Maresca is one of the first names on the Chelsea team sheet. Simple as that. He's one of the first names on there. Him and Palmer have locked down 2 of those attacking slots. That's on lockdown. When December comes around with lots of games and players, let's see. I don't think he'd be gone in January. No, I'd be surprised if that was the case. At this moment in time, I don't think Nkunku's is in our best. Well, you mean best 11, not squad. Mate, let's hope he does. But as I said, I don't care who scores as long as someone scores and as long as we get the W. That's the most important thing here. Is getting that W, guys. We need the W. Let's hope that we get it. I don't know. It's difficult. But yeah, considering it was definitely an opportunity, considering it's going to be a 25 million pound obligation to buy. And if he does well for a few years, you definitely sell him for more than that. So yeah, I can see why you might think that. And you can sort of think, well, what's his position? Where's he going to fit in and stuff? I do get that. It's it's going to be interesting. It is going to be interesting to see what happens with him. But yeah, I hope he does well. Not on Sunday, not on Saturday. No, I don't think so. Yeah, I think Noni starts. As I was saying, Noni is locked down a place in the starting lineup. No problem at all. He's definitely in that first 11 for me. Absolutely, he's in that first 11. Yeah, because he's been on international duty. He's probably having a day off. He's been on international duty. So yeah, for me, Noni will be starting. Noni will absolutely be starting. Neto, yeah, possibly. I mean, I don't know. I don't honestly know what the attacking line is going to be, but I'm pretty certain that Palmer and Madueke will both be starting, as will Jackson. So there's really one spot that's going to be available. Really, there's going to be one spot available. So we will see. We will see what happens with that one. I think there's only going to be, I think there's one spot available in the attacks. I think Jackson, Madueke, and Palmer all start. So there is one. So there's one possibility. There's one slot left in my view, and it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Interesting to see what happens and who gets it. But that's for me the way it is right now. One slot available because I think Palmer, Jackson, and Madueke are going to start the majority of games if they. He didn't actually fake it. That was proven to be untrue. He didn't cost 80 million. He cost 70 million, and he stated that he came back out of the bus afterwards and signed stuff, which conveniently the video doesn't show. So it's easy for people to try and get one over on players. But yeah, obviously the video didn't look great, but he's clarified that situation. And no issues on that front. Yeah, no, Neto wasn't great for Portugal. He wasn't great for Portugal. I'm not a fan of Neto left wing. No, I don't mind him. I don't mind him there. You know, I think he can definitely. I think he can definitely do a job there. He can definitely do a job there. But yeah, obviously people have different opinions on players, but I think he can absolutely. I think he can absolutely do a job there. But what else have we got going on, guys? I don't know if he'll. Yeah, look, I don't think Palmer will start every game. Yeah, Felix could start. Look, guys, we've got options at the end of the day. We've got options. Look, I think if Fofana's fit and playing at his best, I think he's better than Chalobah. But I think Fofana and Chalobah would be a very good partnership. A very good partnership. I don't know why people are getting on people so quick. It's mad. I wouldn't be so sure. I wouldn't be so sure. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But I wouldn't be certain that that's something that would happen. I absolutely wouldn't be certain that's something that's going to happen. But you know, we don't know people. We don't know. But I'd be surprised if we were forking out sort of that £70 million they want. But then again, if he doesn't sign a new deal, there'll be 1 year left in the summer, and the price goes right down. So maybe there is some sort of maybe there's an opportunity there. Maybe there's an opportunity there potentially. We'll have to see on that one, guys. We will have to see on that one. What else is going on? Guys, let's get this to 80 likes. We're 9 likes away from 80. So let's get there. Let's get it done. It's free. Takes seconds to do so, people. So let's run it up. 9 more likes. Come on, guys. 82 in the building. Run it up, and keep subscribing to the channel as well. But yeah, guys, let me know when this is on 80 likes. I don't know if we're going to get to 100. I've got about sort of 5-10 minutes left. So let's try and get this to 100. Let's do it. The Sporting striker looks, yeah, Gyökeres is class. I agree. Absolutely agree on that. He's looking top draw. He's looking top draw. No denying that whatsoever. No denying that. What else is going on here? Don't know how much more there is going on right now. I mean, guys, any questions about anything in the chat? Let me know. Let me know. Yeah, I think Chalobah better than Tosin's not a. Yeah, no, Tosin was bought. If Tosin wasn't free, I don't know if he would have signed him. I'll be real. If Tosin wasn't free, if Tosin would have cost maybe 20 million quid, I don't know if Chelsea would have paid it. I think, you know, Tosin was there because he was free, and Chelsea looked at it as an opportunity. You know, that's my view on it. I like the stream on a ball man's giving us a straight red. Yeah, guys. You know, if you don't like the stream, we get a straight red in the first 15 from Taylor, then that's on you. That is on you, unfortunately. So make sure you are liking the stream. Simple as that. I know. Yeah, well, we all do. We all want that to happen. We all want that to happen. He's better than. I think he's on a par with Disasi. I don't know if he's considerably better, but he's maybe just better than Disasi, and he's better than Badiashile right now. But if Badiashile's playing on full form, then it's on his best form. Then unfortunately, Tosin is not better than a Badiashile on his best form. But the problem is Badiashile's form has completely deserted him. So yeah. I don't know. I don't know. And you'd have to take a major hit. You know, that's why I think maybe a loan might happen if Chelsea aren't particularly happy with him. Get him some regular minutes, get him playing, and then see and then see what happens from there. That would be my take on proceedings. Let's hope not, but ultimately all we've got to do is do our job, score enough goals, and then we won't have to worry about the referee. You know, that's what we've got to do. I've got absolutely no idea. You know, he suffered that injury at the end of the Lampard season, was out for a long time, and then he just hasn't got his form back. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's happened to him. I really don't. I'm struggling to work out what has gone wrong with him. I really am. I just don't get it. I just don't know what's happened to him before. So yeah, I mean, look, he's been okay the last couple of games, but yeah, you always feel that sort of bozo moment is coming with him. You always feel that bozo moment's coming, and yeah, you don't feel comfortable when he's on the ball. There's always that sense of nervousness. Always that sense of nervousness. I do as well. I'll always believe until the very last day, but there's no getting away from the fact that, you know, it's all very well saying he's got all the ability, he's got all the potential. He does, but if he doesn't start doing it on the pitch, it's completely irrelevant. Yeah, it's crazy what's happened to him. It is absolutely crazy what's gone on with Badiashile and his decline. It's mad. Personally, you'd have to say that's the most likely outcome, given he's only got 13% and and Clear Lake have got 61.5%. It's very hard to buy out 61.5%, but you know, it's not a foregone conclusion. But it's a safe bet to say that Bowley's probably going to get bought out, but you just don't know. I mean, look, Badiashile maybe next summer, sure. You know, next summer there could be a conversation to be had about moving him on. I agree. Nah, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I think it's Lee Carsley's job to lose. You know, and I wouldn't be against Carsley getting it. I really wouldn't. No, not true. They're just two names that are being considered. Two names that are being considered. I wish Hazard was at Chelsea. Yeah, I mean, it'd be great if Hazard was at Chelsea for many reasons. For many reasons, it would be great. Guys, 5 more likes to the 80. Let's get there. Come on, people. 5 more likes. 5 more likes. So please do run it up. It's free and it takes seconds to do so. Yeah, I agree. Why not? Why not? You know, he seems a likable guy. He's come through the system. He's refreshed things. You know, why not give him a chance? Why not? You know, I don't think someone like Lampard or Potter would necessarily do any better. So yeah, I'll be up to the beginning the keys. Yeah, I think it's a good move. I think it's a good move for him. You know, get away from club football for a bit. US soccer's, you know, or football or whatever you want to call it, is on the up. There's a lot of talent in that team. A lot of exciting talent coming through. And there's a home World Cup. So it's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity to manage a team in a home World Cup that's got a lot of talent. So, yeah, why not? I think it's a great job to take. I think it is a great job to take. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on it. That's my thoughts on it. I think it's a great hire for the US, and I think it's a great job for Poch to take. And you know, going to be leading the team out in a home World Cup. You know, it's big. It is big. Absolutely, it's big. Guys, 2 more likes to the 80. Come on, smash that like button, people. No, let's see if there's any news has come through. I mean, the news over the last few days has been a little sparse, hasn't it? It's been a little sparse. If we're being totally honest. Has been sparse, guys. But yeah, there we go. Any questions about anything, people? Otherwise, I will start to think about rounding this one out. Any further questions from anyone about anything? Please do let me know. Chelsea won't appoint Southgate. No, they won't. They absolutely won't. And I'd be shocked if Maresca was gone at Christmas. I really would be. I know nothing should shock us, but I would be surprised if that were to be the case. Right, guys, I'm going to round this one out here. Rumbled on for enough now. There's not an awful lot going on, so I'm going to round it out here. Guys, thank you for tuning in. Not the best numbers tonight. No surprise really, given the lack of news and the international break. But I'll be back tomorrow. Bournemouth preview, looking at Maresca's press conference, all that good stuff. So make sure you stay tuned for that one tomorrow afternoon. But yeah, guys, until then, smash the like button on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. All of that good stuff. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Up the Chelsea and peace out, guys.